Welcome. We will do Excel review by solving 4 problems on the following topics. So we have 4 questions. This review will be out of 50 points plus 3 bonus points. And here are the 4 questions. So the first question is prepare a table that looks something like this. This column, the first column should have a width of 15. This row should have a width of 20. All these other columns would be just auto-fit to the size of the data and do this formatting, like red color here, bold color here, and enter this date correctly, get this formatting correctly. Okay, so let's start. Also, before you start, so like you will download this Excel file, you should use the provided file to give your answer, and before you start, enter your first name and family name in the grade sheet. So let's start. So here you put like your first name A, B, C, for example. Okay, that's like the grade sheet. And the first exercise is that I want to make a table that looks something like this. So start from here, like event, for example. I merge these 2 cells here, so I come to here to merge. Okay. Then I can do like period, and like period 1 here, like so that's period 1. That's like 1 is underscore, so I can change come here to font, subscript, this should be like a subscript, and then like these 2 cells are merged, so I merge this here and fill to the end. So now I have this, and I have the date, so like on January 1st, for example, so I write January 1st, and then this date will be like this one plus 7, because 1, 8, 15, and then I can come here and drag it. And now let's do some formatting. Let me make this bold. Let's change this color to red, for example. Let's auto fit this one, and this one it says the columns, this one width, the first one should be 15. So this one, I come here like column width, I change this to 15, for example, and it says this like this row height should be 20. I think they are already 20. I forgot to change them, so I mean we can select many of them here, column row height, and I put this like 20. Okay, so now I have this as like 20. What else do I need to do? I can maybe add some blue color here or any color here, and then I do the workshop for shop 1, workshop 1, and then I fill this 1 to 10. And what else do I need to do here? Put this border, so I put the border here, and this one has a special format, so I come here, for example, I merge this cell, and I think I'm done. So I got like the table that looks exactly like this, so I can grade myself. I merged the event cell, I did the bottom and middle align for this one, I did a bold font, I did subscript for period 1, I merged period 1 cell, like these 2 cells here, I filled into period 6, I entered the date, I incremented the date until like March 19. I changed it, this color to red and this color to blue or green or any color. So I fill in the workshop like here. So I give myself a grade here. Left align, it's already left align. I changed the row height to 20. I changed this column to 15, for example. I did auto fit. So like auto fit is basically like you select all the row from the top from here, and then you double click, and that will auto fit this width to the size of your data. So I did this auto fit. I added the border. I did like special formatting. So here, so I got like 16 points. This should be out of 16 points. Okay. We have like 16 of them. Okay, so that's the first problem. The second problem is for like this data x here. Like, so I'm giving a data x where, and I have like y as a function of x. So I have like this y function where a and b, these are constants. So a here is a constant and b here is a constant. And I want to find the like calculate this y value and find the arithmetic, harmonic, and geometric mean of this y value. So how to do this? So we start by typing the equation, the formula here. So I have like square root, so I like use like square root, and then I like have this bracket like log x times a. Let me do it from the. Let's do it from the beginning. So I come here. I write like square root log bracket log this value, okay, time this guy plus this guy and cube, and then I need to put like a bracket here, because if I didn't put the bracket it will divide B3 by 5, but I want to divide all the numerators, so I put like a bracket here, close the bracket, and then I divide by 5, and then I close the square root bracket. So I got something that looks like this. I could also not use the square root function. I could just do something like this, like, so I could come here, say like log x times a plus this guy to the power of 3. Then I can take all this bracket divided by 5, and then I could square root everything. So I make another bracket here, and then to the power of 1 over 2, just like the square root. So I got like the same answer. Now I need to fill this. If I fill this, it will not be correct because I need to fix these constants. So to come here to fix this constant, you put the dollar sign here, put the dollar sign here. Okay, I mean, we can do it also to this one to make sure. So we are doing the same thing by like 2 different ways, just to make sure that we didn't do any mistakes in like the brackets or anything. And then you can fill them. So one way, so to fill this, you can either drag it, or you can like select here and like double click here. That will fill it for you, or you can like come here and drag it. Okay, so now we got like the same answer. Now we need to do like arithmetic means. So that's like this here in Excel is called like average. So you write the average and you select the range. Okay, harmonic mean. Well, if you don't know don't remember the function of the harmonic mean, one way you can do, you can write h, for example, and then Excel will give you all the functions that start with h. So here that would be the harmonic mean function. And then you do this. And then the geometric mean, like again, you write like geo mean, you do this, and then you select here, okay? And then it tell you, show your answer with 2 decimal points. So here, like 2 decimal points, so you come here and then you show your answer in 2 decimal points, okay? So let's see, I did this log correct, I did this multiplication correct, the addition correct, the power correct, I did correct bracket for division, I took the square root, I did this correctly, I did relative reference for A, relative reference for B, and I was able to drag it all the way down, and then for the arithmetic mean I found the function and I was able to select the right range. Same for the harmonic mean and same for the geometric mean. I formatted the answer to 2 decimal points, so I got 16 out of 16. Now, charts, so this question is basically telling you replicate this chart, like use this data to get a chart that looks like this, where your trend, like you added a trend line, you change the trend line from like color and from dash line to solid line, you add the trend line equation and you show 5 digits here, you change your x-axis range from 1970 to 2025 with 5-year increments, you change this to 0.1 increment like your temperature, and this axis crosses here at negative, your y-axis crosses x-axis at like this value, not at 0. So basically that's what you want to do. You add the label, and it also telling you change this font size to 14 and change this font size to 12, something that looks like this. So how we do this, we select our data. Thus we start with the plotting, so we select our data, we come here, insert, and then we do the plot. So now we have the plot. We can remove this guy, and now I want to change the x-axis limits, for example. So you come here, you format axis, and then I want to make this not at like 2025, and the measure x unit I want it to be every year, like, so I increment this every year, okay? So that's for this one. Then I can select the y-axis. I want to change like the measure unit to 0.1, so I change here this to 0.1, and I want this to cross here at this value, so x cross at negative 0.2, for example. So okay, so I have this crossing correctly. Now I need to add like these labels here. So one way you can add element, or you can add it from here also. So you add axis, title, okay. I want to remove the grid line, so I can remove the grid line also and add axis title. So that would be like delta t, and then I should, here should be like special sign. So this special simple, you come here and you select it, you insert, you close, okay, and here should be like the year. So select the year that I need. What else should I do? So now I think, it tells you change this font to 12. So I can come here, make this 12, for example, and this one also to 12. So I can come here, makes it 12. Does not look nice. I change it to 12, so I have to maybe drag it and make it a little bit bigger. Now it looks a little bit better. also change this to 12. Select this one, you select this one, you change it to 12, so now it looks nice. And then the final step is to add a trend line. So you come, you select the data, you add a trend line, you show displays the equation and this one, and then you click OK. Now before you change the font size of this equation, add more decimal point, because if you change the font size first, it will when you add decimal point, it might not show on your screen. So you come here first because you want to show this to like 5 digits here. So you come here, so do this first and then change the font size. You format trend line label, you just select number and decimal places, you put like 5 decimal places, and then you got this one, and then it's asking you to change this font size to 14 or 15 or anything. Then you come here, you change this to 14. Okay, is this 14? No, it didn't happen. So you come here and you change this to 14. Okay, so we have this. I want to change this to solid line, so I just select, I come here, I select this line, and then format trend line. I can come here, the color, I need to make this red, and the dash line, I change this to solid line, and I think that's it. I got the figure. So let's make sure I got everything correct. I plotted Lear and delta. I have like my major x-axis unit of 5, my measure for the y 0.1, it crosses at negative 0.2. I added the x title for both of them. I increase the axis title and font size, and like these and these. Increase the x-axis title here, like font size to 12, and these labels here also to 12. I remove like grid lines. I added the trend line. I added trend line equation r square. I show trend line equation was 5 digits, so I did this here. I changed the trend line equation to 14. I changed trend line color to red. Changed trend line style to solid instead of a dash line. So I got 16 points here. Okay, my last problem is use Excel solver to find y of x equal to 50. So basically I want to find the value of x that would make this y of x equal to 20. So like inverse of this function. So the first step is that like you enter your function. So that would be like 3 times my x is here, the power of 3 plus 2 times x to the power of 2 plus 4. So, and then like put 0, for example, here. Okay, so, and you can play with it, like you can put value of 1, like 2, 3. Okay, so I know now the solution is between like 2 and 3, you know, like if I times this equation correctly, so that maybe try 2.9, for example, like, or 2.5, 2.4, 2.3. So like I'm getting very close to what I need, and maybe 2.29 or 2.28. I mean, I can keep trying this. Oh, very close. So I can keep trying this trial and error type of things, but this is not what the problem is asking you for. It's not. It's telling you use solver to find this value. So remember, solver, that's like in data. You have like in solver here. How to add this? Like you go to file, you go to options, you go to add-ins. You click on add-ins. It will tell you, for example, solver add-in, go, and it will tell you, for example, what you want to add. Like, and then you can add these two, for example. And then here, like you got solver and you got data analysis. Okay, so it's asking me to use solver to do this. So you select the solver, and it's your objective function. That's my objective function. It's like I want this to be equal to 50. So I put like here 50. And this is my decision variable by changing this guy. Okay, so, and then you click solve. And then we found the solution. Let's see. Not so it found the solutions. I got like exactly 50. So that solution, let's see. That's like very, very close, like 0.999. So okay, so that's all for this review. Try to solve it. Okay, let's see how much grade I got here. I entering the Y formula correctly. I added solver, like I was able to add like this solver here in case I don't have it. If you have it, that's okay. Set objective in the solver, like I set my objective function. I set my objective function like to 50, for example, like my decision variable. So I got 5 points here. Now I can see my grade. So I got 53 out of 50. So I got like 50 points and 3 bonus points. So that's all for this review. Try to download the file and do this if you and make sure you can do all these steps. Okay, and that would be the review for this Excel lessons. Thank you, and see you in the next part, which